Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you haven't had a too bad of a week. Mine has been okay. Just finished this chapter of the comic, as you guys know, and I'm feeling way better now. And as I promised, I made this video for you guys showing the process of that big page or panel. Is not the whole page, with the beer in the bar at the end of the chapter that I recorded, just to kind of let you guys see once again a process of me drawing one of these bigger, more intricate panels that have like more background to it, just so you can see how much work goes into it. And it's a lot. I kind of hate is maybe a strong word. I kind of dread drawing these kind of panels. They're really rewarding when they're finished. It's really nice having them in the comic, and they really pack a punch, but they take so long to draw. They will make a regular comic page takes me about 15 hours, give or take a couple hours to draw, but just having most of the page being a panel like this with a really intricate background just takes like easily well over 20 hours, and it's not something I can do too often. Like maybe a few times per chapter I will take the time to really work on one big panel. Usually it's like scenery panels, like we had the big overview of the abandoned settlement in the middle of the comic. Like that one took a really long time, and I think I had a couple of other panels that I just sat down and suffered for a while because it is suffering. I basically, especially like the inking part and the sketching, because there's so much to focus on, and if I have to do a very should we say perspective heavy panel with like as you can see, like building parts and squares, stuff that isn't just nature is easy to paint or draw, but anything that's human made requires so much concentration to get perspectives correct. And it takes so much focus both in the sketching part and then the line arting part, and both of them are just basically redrawing the whole drawing like twice, once in the sketch and once in the line art. And after like 10 hours I'm pretty much done with it, but as in my mind, but I still have another 10 hours to go, and it's very tiring, and sometimes it feels like it's not turning out good enough to be worth it. And then it's like, why am I doing this? I could have just told the same story in a few simpler panels where I didn't really have so much background, but usually when it's finished it's worth it, and I don't regret it anymore, and then I'm happy about it. And then when I do the same curve panel again a few weeks later, I'm again doubting myself whether or not it's worth it or not. But I think it's worth it. I feel like a lot of people really appreciate this kind of panels, like they see the work that's gone into it, and it's what makes the world of the comic feel way more not real necessarily, but you feel what the real mood of the comic is supposed to be. By the way, for anyone who's new here, quick introduction of the comic and myself. I'm Minna, and I make a webcomic called Stand Still, Stay Silent. It's a post-apocalyptic Nordic adventure, as you can see from the bear in a ruined bar. It's set like 90 years in the future after a horrific thing happened to humankind, and there's like survivors trying to survive in the future, and there's monsters and Nordic mythology mixed into the whole thing. And I post 4 new pages a week, so you get a lot of content to read every week. So yeah, that's the comic. If you haven't seen it before, right now I'm actually on a little chapter break. I just finished I posted the cover page for the next chapter yesterday, and now I have 1 week to basically work on the next chapter. I have a couple of days set aside for resting and cleaning my home. I want to do a spring cleaning finally, and then I just have to draw a bunch of buffer pages. As you guys heard in my last video, I had a really hard time concentrating for the last few weeks, and I basically lost all of my buffer. I had like 3 pages of buffer, and I lost all of them in the last 3 weeks. Just not good, but that's what the buffer is for. When times are tough, you use them and then you can recuperate afterwards, and that's what I'm gonna do during this week. Just draw a few pages so that I can start strong again with the next chapter in 10-ish days or whatever it is. I promised I would start on Tuesday, not next week, but the week after that. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I actually just scripted out the whole next chapter, which was really nice. It was actually easier than a lot of chapters that I've scripted. Well, I scripted all of the chapters, but you know what I mean. Like, it was easier than usual to script it. Usually when I do the script for my chapters, I know like the big points of it. I know how it should start, what should be like the big main plot points that need to be hit, and I maybe know how to end the chapter. But then I have like a bunch of question mark pieces where I don't know how to get from point A to point B. I know the characters are starting here, and then they need to get to a situation where this can happen, and I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen between here. I feel like there should be like 4 pages for the pacing to feel good, but I don't know what they're gonna do. And then, there's a similar blank 2 pages in between that and that part, and it usually takes me a while of going back and forth with my script to figure out what goes in the blank pages, and I end up like moving things around and deciding that I want to do something different and stuff. But this time I just sat down and like thumbnail sketched the whole thing, and for once I don't have a single like missing question mark page. Everything is set in well, I don't want to say set in stone. It feels like it is, like I know every page, almost every panel even, as far as what I want to happen. But I never want to say that it's completely set in stone. Sometimes I come up with a really cool idea in the middle of drawing a chapter, and I want to be able to add it in if I want to, obviously. Like, it takes so long to draw pages. Like, it will take me over 2 months to draw the next chapter, and that's lots of time to come up with cooler ideas and be like, man, I wish I had done this instead. And usually it's possible to do that, and I do allow myself to change things if it feels better. But yeah, I feel very confident in the next chapter. I think you guys will really enjoy it. If you wouldn't, I will change it. I don't want to make a chapter that you guys won't enjoy. I make all of them fun. Fun in quotation marks, maybe? No, actual fun. Other than that, not much going on. I think I'm gonna make a separate video kind of discussing what's going on with book 3, or the printing of the 3rd volume of the comic, because as you maybe remember, that was like a thing that was planned for this spring, and just like a little over a month ago, I was talking about I was finishing up the files and things were looking good, and you guys know what's happened in the last about the last month. Things are not looking good anymore in any kind of way, so yeah, the book 3 is kinda on, I wouldn't even say on hold, just in kind of like it's floating in the air. It was just thrown up, like ready to go, and suddenly it's like, wait, is it ready to go? We can't really do anything. One of the printers that like my publisher is using actually had to close because they're not an essential business, and it's like, yeah, I guess we can't really do it right now. And shipping companies obviously are in a mess, so you couldn't even ship it out to people if it was printed. It's like nobody knows what's gonna happen this next couple of months. So, but yeah, I'll discuss that I guess next week. Maybe then I'll know a bit more what the situation is gonna be. Probably not, but you know. Other than that, nothing else going on. Spring is maybe finally happening. I feel like I say that every week for the last 2 months. But now I think it is the 2 spring signs have been: one, Kitty is able to now use her favorite scratching post slash climbing tree, which is an actual tree. She loves it, but she doesn't like using it when there's snow around it or the ground is like frozen. I guess her paws get like cold, and you know, it's slippery and gross, but now it's started melting and she very much enjoys it. Every morning she wants to either climb into it or scratch it a lot. And the second sign is that there are the first green things coming out of the ground. That's right, I've seen other people post like their green things are coming out of the ground like months ago, and I've been so jealous. This is the first time it's happening over here. The ground is still kind of frozen and covered in ice and snow in parts, but other parts are fine. No flowers yet, but very soon, hopefully in a few days. But yeah, that's what's going on. I really don't have anything else to say for this week's video. It was nice checking in with you guys, and everything is very much uncertain, and I'm just trying to not think about the uncertainty. I really like making plans and having everything planned out, you know, with my business and stuff. But right now, you can't make any plans. I'm sure all of you feel the same. You can't make any plans. You can't really. Everything is on hold. You can't do anything really. As far as work, future stuff goes, I can just draw my comic pages, and that's it. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week, and yeah, bye.